I'm going to be giving you guys a 4-question quiz to see if you really understand king and pawn endings. We've covered this previously in this Endgame series, but now we're going to take it up to the next level. This is part 4 in Silman's complete Endgame course for players rated 14 to 1600, and this is the first video in this series where it really starts to get a little bit more tricky. Up to this point, it was relatively straightforward. So before I give you the quiz, I want to just refresh your memory. We talked about how when your king is in front of your pawn, that is ideal for the player who's trying to win. And when you have the opposition, that is also ideal. That's what you need to be able to win in most cases, all right? In this case, it doesn't matter whose turn it is. This is going to be a win. If it's black's turn, they have to either step to the side or go backwards. You already have the opposition as white. That's exactly what you want. And even if it's your turn, you can waste a move with the pawn, gaining the opposition, and again, black either has to go backwards and allow you to continue to get opposition or step to the side, and then you can start escorting the pawn. We've already covered this in a previous lesson. Go back and watch that if you need to refresh your memory. So as long as you think you understand that, let's go ahead and proceed with the quiz, okay? So there's 4 positions. Here is the first position, and I'm going to tell you whether it's white or black to move, and I want you to tell me if it's a draw or if white can win. Okay, that's what you have to identify. And this is really going to test if you understand these, as well as you should or not. So position number 1, it's black to play. It is black's turn. Is it a draw or does white win? Okay, here's position number 2. Very similar, but slightly different. Again, it is black's turn. Is it a draw or does white win? And pause when I'm showing you each of these if you need to, right? Here's position number 3. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to put those arrows. It is black's turn again. Is this a draw or is it a win for white? And then here's your 4th position. It is white's turn in this position. Is it a draw or is it a win for white? Okay, so those are the 4 positions, and I'm going to go one by one. Again, here's the first position. If you want to pause, go ahead and we'll talk about it. All right, so position number 1. It is black's turn. Like I said, black's going to play king to d7, and the answer to this question is it's a draw. Okay, and why is it a draw? Well, even though white has opposition, the king is not in front of the pawn, right? That's an important point. If the king is not in front of the pawn, you're limited in what you can do, right? The only thing you can do is eventually push your pawn, and then it's going to give black time to go back, and then black's going to get the opposition like we've seen in the previous videos, and this is a draw. You push, they go here, you get a stalemate. There's nothing else that you can do. So the key point here is that even though you had opposition because your king was not in front of your pawn, it didn't help you, right? All right. Hopefully you got that one right. Position number 2. All right, if you had a chance to think through that, it's black's turn. So they're going to play king e7. They're going to get the opposition. And you might say, but wait a second, my king is in front of my pawn. This should be good for me, right? No, it is still a draw because if you go here, remember, they still have the opposition and you have no way to waste a move to gain the opposition. There's nothing that you can do. Every time you move, they're just going to keep getting the opposition, right? And eventually, you will have to push your pawn and we're right back to square one. It doesn't matter that you got the opposition because your king is no longer in front of your pawn. Okay, so yes, opposition is important, but remember, it kind of goes hand in hand with having your king in front. Okay, so that was a draw. Let's look at the next position. This is position number 3, also black to move. All right, well, if you had a chance to think about that, so obviously black is going to move over and get the opposition, but wait a second, we now can use our pawn to gain the opposition. This is kind of weird. And this is one of the exceptions. When the pawn is on the 5th rank and your king is on the 6th rank, that's when weird stuff can happen. So if you look at the previous example, going back to this position, it's almost the same thing, right? Black gets the opposition. We can use our pawn to gain the opposition, but it doesn't help us because we still get this drawn position. We go here where we've advanced them a little bit. It's the same kind of situation, right? Black gets the opposition. We use our pawn, but look at what happens. The king has to go over. Now when we push, everything works out in our favor. The king is forced to vacate. We sneak by and we get the queen. So this is kind of the exception to the rule where initially we don't have the opposition. And then when we get it, our king is not in front, but we still win, right? Look at this very carefully. Exact same situation. Look here. and here. Except this time the king doesn't have time to step back and regain the opposition. Okay, so I'm going to go over this one more time. I know I'm repeating myself, but this is important. When we push our pawn, black gets the opportunity to go back and gain the opposition. They're not forced to come out here and let us win, right? They don't have to do that. They go straight back, and then bam, they get the opposition. In this case, you can't do that, right? When we push, you can't go straight back. That's the edge of the board. You have to come out, we come up, and we win. So make sure, rewatch that part if you need to. This is important, okay? Because there's these little tricks that exist when the pawn is on the 5th rank and the king is on the 6th rank, and you want to make sure that you understand that, okay? All right, the 4th position was white to play. And if you had a chance to think through that, so king to f5, we come forward, and this is going to be a win for white because look carefully at what happens here. If the king moves this way, boom, we get the opposition. We've seen this before. This is the exact same thing when the king is forced out, right? But if the king goes here, how do we win? This looks good for black, right? They get the opposition. This should be what black wants, right? Watch carefully. King to e5, and black is unable to get the opposition. Even though our king is not in front of our pawn, we have this really interesting situation where that pawn is helping us. The king can't go there. And so black is forced to either go here, and then bam, we get the opposition. We've seen this position before. Same thing, right? They go over, we push, they come out, we get the queen. You know that. Or they go here. Now, if they go here, what do we do? Hopefully you said king f6. You have to get the opposition because you can make a mistake here, and you could allow black to get the opposition. Now it's a draw, right? Because now when we push, this works in black's favor. It's a stalemate. Okay, so it's important that you understand what's going on. Make sure you get the opposition, you get the opposition, and now everything works in our favor. Okay, so those are 4 interesting positions. And I wanted you to, the big takeaway here is that you understand they're not always quite as simple as you think they are, right? Like there's these subtle little things that you could very easily miss when you're playing a game and like turn a draw into a win or a loss, depending on, you know, which side you're on. So just to reiterate, you want the opposition, you want the king to be in front of the pawn, but when the pawn is on like the 5th or the 6th rank and your king is kind of, bouncing around with black's king, that's when things can get tricky, right? There are little tricks to be aware of, okay? So go rewatch those if you need to, but that's really, 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 really important. All right, so here's another question for you. This is kind of a separate quiz in and of itself, just this one position. It's white to play. Can you win? Can you win? That's the question. What do you guys think? Your pawn's going forward this way, obviously. All right, if you had a chance to look at that. So the answer is yes, you can win, but you have to go about it in a particular way. And if you're not careful, for example, you move your king up, black moves their king up, move your king up, black moves their king up, you get the opposition. Oh, and by the way, I need to back up. I'm sorry. I should have said this before. One of the things that Silman mentioned previously in the book is that there's this weird trick where if you're trying to get opposition in like a long distance situation like this, you can look at which color square your opponent's king is on, dark square. You can move to a dark square and notice how there's like a box here, dark square, dark square, dark square, dark square, or a rectangle, I should say, right? This means you're going to be able to get opposition eventually. So this is a very clever trick. King G7. Again, dark square, dark square, dark square, dark square. I'm forcing that eventually I'm going to be able to get the opposition. If he goes here, boom, I get the opposition. If he goes, let's just say here, I can go here and get the opposition, okay? And then eventually you get it. It's kind of complicated, but it's a little trick. So the point is, as soon as I go here, I'm guaranteeing that I can get the opposition. Okay, cool. So he goes, I go, he goes, aha, got the opposition. Perfect, right? I'm going to win. Wait a second. No, this is a draw. We've seen this, right? This is a draw. Even though I have opposition, I'm not in front of the pawn, and he's going to have time to go straight back, and eventually black's going to get the opposition. We've seen this before, right? So where's the win? Where's the win? The win is king to e2. You say, Nelson, that doesn't follow the rule about getting opposition. No, it doesn't. Why? Because we already saw what happens. We're going to lose. Even if we get opposition, it doesn't help us. You know what does help us? Going to the other side of the pawn and going around because we can get in front of it. Watch this. King G7, King D3, King, King. Boom. So we didn't quite get opposition, but we got our king in front of the pawn, which is exactly what we need. And now if black tries to go here, bam, we get the opposition. You say, okay, what if black doesn't give the opposition? They go here. And black's idea is that when we go here, boom, this is a draw. This is a draw. So what do? We don't go here, we go here, right? We sneak up and we're getting ready to escort the pawn. And now black has to decide, do they go here and give us the opposition, or do they try to come up here? But then boom, we push the pawn. They go here. Now what do? You move your king. Look at that. They can't go there. They can't go there. You've escorted the pawn, and now you're going to win. You get a queen. Okay? So going back to the original position, yes, it is a win, but you have to go around this way, and you can't come up this way. Right? Again, it's one of those, like, this is so easy to miss in your games. So make sure you think very carefully when you're in these king and pawn endings, right? And this is just with one pawn, right? And, you know, when you add pawns all over the place, it gets even more complicated. So keep this in mind. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right, guys, so we're going to finish off the video with this position right here. And we're going to look at it from two different ways. So the first way is going to be white to move. And if white moves, it's an extremely easy win. If you want to pause to figure that out, go ahead, but this one should be relatively straightforward. All right, so you move your king. It doesn't really matter what black does. You just go in front and you go up. And even if black tries to trick you, let's just say, by sneaking around the side and trying to get opposition on you, it doesn't matter. We've seen this position before. I showed you at the start of the video. Boom, we push our pawn to regain the opposition, and we're going to win. Simple, right? Let's go back here. Same exact position, but I've flipped the board. And this time, it is black's turn to move first. And this means that it's a draw. Okay, it is now a draw. But the question is, how does black draw? So if you want to pause and think through this, this one is a little bit tricky, but go ahead. All right, if you had a chance to look at that. So first of all, you have to move your king forward. And the idea is that you're trying to get up the board as fast as possible, because now if white tries to go around, you come, they come, bam. You get the opposition, and you did it before they were able to get in front of their pawn. Well, they're in front of the pawn, but not with enough space, right? You've got the opposition. They don't have that waiting move with their pawn. You just keep the opposition, and eventually they have to, you know, push their pawn or whatever, and this is a draw. We've seen this before. Okay? So the idea is you just run up the board. You say, Nelson, that's pretty simple. Just go. Like, what's the big deal? Here's the big deal. White sees what's happening, and they go king to d1. King to d1 is a very clever move. And now you have to be careful if you're black. So watch this. King comes up. They go king to d2. And now what do? Well, if you had a chance to look at that, hopefully you didn't say king e5, because white wasted a move, they tricked you. They tricked you. They get the opposition. They're going to win. Remember, they've got the opposition and their king is in front of the pawn. They're going to win. And if you go here, same thing. They get the opposition. They're going to win. So what do? Is it just a lost position? Do you go this way? No. This is also a form of opposition. It's a diagonal opposition, but it's still an opposition. And again, boom, they're going to get the opposition. So what do? You go to d6. Distant opposition. This is still opposition. It's just a distant form. There's 3 spaces in between instead of just 1 space. You want there to be an odd number of spaces. And the idea is that you're just waiting. And you say, go ahead, buddy. Move up whenever you're ready. And then bam, you get the opposition. Right? Or same thing here. Bam, you get the opposition. And you can just stay like this forever. Distant opposition. No big deal. Distant opposition. No big deal, right? And eventually they're going to move up. That's when you go up. That's when you go and you've got it. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Just to summarize, it was all about the opposition, because when black had the move first, they were able to get up the board so that you couldn't get an extra space, but you still had to make sure you got the opposition, and white tried to trick you. You had to avoid that. Okay? So we've looked at a couple of really simple positions, but they're really not so simple. And that's kind of the takeaway from the beginning section of part 4, is that these king and pawn endings are tricky. Even if you think you know the stuff, you have to make sure that you actually know it. All right. So hopefully this really solidifies this in your mind. And we will pick up next time, continuing on with some more king and pawn endgame stuff. But I wanted to leave this kind of as its own separate video because I felt like this is really, really important. So thank you guys. I'll see you next time as we continue our series going through this book. And as always, stay sharp, play smart, take care.